How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another weekly WIXOSS video. As you can see here, we're going to be opening up and reviewing the two WIXOSS decks that launched while we took our WIXOSS hiatus. These are the Super Diva decks. We have the dual deck, the double Heroines deck that has Harana and Piraluk. I've heard that this deck is actually I mean, both decks are really good. I've heard that this product is the best pre-constructed product that WIXOSS has ever done, and it might be one of the best ones we've ever reviewed on the channel. So we're gonna take a look at this one. And we also have the Urith deck. This is kind of like the companion to the Tama White Hope deck. This is Urith's Miasma. So yeah, there's some really good reprints in both of these. I'm really eager to check it out, so let's do it.
All right, here we have them, Urith's Miasma and the double Heroines deck. Really looking forward to opening these up. I think these decks are actually some of the best starter decks for any trading card game on the market. They're absolutely incredible, especially this one. So we're gonna go into that today. We'll open up this one second. Let's do the Urith's Miasma first. This is one that actually can be found for pretty cheap. There's a website called TopSpot that currently has these for like $10, which I think is an absurd deal. So yeah, let's just kind of open these up. I find usually it's best to just open these from the bottom because that way everything just kind of slides on out. On the back here, you do have a full deck list, and you can see there are multiple copies of competitive staple super rares. You have two Polaris, you have two Dark Energy. Those are both incredibly good cards. And of course you can see our Diva team here, Urith, Aino, and Tamago. Just great stuff. Aino is actually a really good assist L-Rig. Tamago is also very good. So yeah, let's crack into this. Oh, I didn't even mention our spicy little playmat here as we open this up. This playmat is one of the first WIXOSS style playmats we ever made with artist friend Honshu, and we still have these updated versions available on redzonerogue.com. These ones have our new card back. So yeah, there's my obligatory self-shill for the video. All right, so take this out. You do have a kind of like a how to play guide. How to fight turns 1 and 2. I actually really like that they include like this big comprehensive how to play here. Of course, we do have a how to play video here on Red Zone Rogue, but I love that it gives you a breakdown of like what the cards do and how to play them. Really appreciate it. It's not just a blank, you know, it's not just a blank thing that's just like, here you go. I really love that. I love the consideration and the appreciation. WIXOSS consistently has incredible products, in my opinion. This one is also a how to play guide. This one's a more generic how to play guide. It's just like teaching you the basics on how to play, whereas this one is like specifics to this deck. There's also like a QR code and all that good stuff. Like I said, yeah, WIXOSS has some good stuff. I really appreciate that. All right, let's take a look at the deck itself. If I remember right, yeah, there's some little tabs here on the side that are difficult to eyeball from the space that I'm cutting these at, just because I'm holding this a little bit further away than I normally would. Let's get a nice manual zoom in on here. All right, so we have the halves of our WIXOSS deck with our center L-Rig, Urith, as well as one of the big cards here, Polaris, which is a really nice card that I personally use in multiple WIXOSS decks. If you're playing black as a main color, Polaris is just really good because she represents like a degree of inevitability. Because when you're playing WIXOSS, you don't always want to attack your opponent's Signy, right? Because sometimes if you're just attacking them, you can basically ramp them. When you attack into a Signy with your Signy and you kill it, then it goes into your opponent's enter zone, right? It gets vanished. And if you're not doing that, if you're just doing that with no purpose, you can end up just ramping your opponent, and it can be bad. But what's great about Polaris is when she vanishes a Signy, she also mills our opponent for 10, which is very good. You put the top 10 decks of that player's deck into their trash. And one of the ways to win in WIXOSS is to just deck our opponent. There's a weird like crease here, little print line on both of them. Look at that. Look at that. Well, I said the quality is consistently good. This one is a little bit of a defect here. That's unfortunate for the video, but still, ooh, these ones are even kind of like foil. Okay, let's check out the deck, starting with Urith here. Is she? Nope, she's not. So yeah, this is essentially kind of like a black mill deck. We're not going to go super in depth, but the fact is that I think Urith is pretty cool. She's not like one of the top tier L-rigs right now, but she's not unplayable. And that's a cool thing about WIXOSS is that almost all center L-rigs are playable to some degree if you can build around them correctly. And I think this deck is actually like a very, very good starting point. So yeah, here we have Urith, Maniacal Enma, and she's also great. If you like the evil waifus, Urith is definitely a good one. Here we have our level 0 Urith, our level 1, and then our level 2 for the centers. And then for the support, we have Aino. We have Aino Rock, which is a staple. This is just a really, really good one because you play it, and then you can return a level 2 or less Signy from your opponent's field to their hand, and it costs 0. So this basically clears a lane, which is what you want to do in WIXOSS, so you can deal damage, but it clears a lane in a way that doesn't ramp them. It doesn't vanish their Signy. So this is a really, really good card used in a lot of decks. And then we have Aino Bye Bye, another Aino staple. I use both of these. I literally use both of these in my like personal WIXOSS decks, but I've foil version. So really, really good stuff here. We have Newborn Tamago. There's our level 0 Tamago. Tamago Beating. This is put target level 1 Signy on your opponent's field on the bottom of their deck. Once again, it's a way to get rid of a Signy, clear a lane without vanishing it. Really solid here. And then we have Tamago Symbol Roll. This one is another 0 cost, and you, on enter, draw 2 cards, and you get to look at your opponent's hand, and then you discard a card and look at your opponent's hand and choose a card. Your opponent discards it. Pretty sweet. And then we have our piece cards. Miasma Labyrinth is a really good piece card that I personally use in some of my decks. It just has a myriad of effects here, but what I'm trying to get at is like these cards are really, really good. This one says, choose one of the following for each of your center L-rigs level. So if you're the level 3 Urith, you're going to do 3 of these. Put target Signy in your opponent's field gets minus 12,000 power until end of turn. If it reaches 0, they get vanished. Put target Signy from your trash onto your field. Add target Signy from your trash to your hand, or each player puts the top 7 cards of their deck into their trash. You can mill them, clear a lane, fill a lane, get a card back. There's a lot of really, really good stuff that you can do with this. You can even get a Signy with guard from your trash to your hand, which is nice. That's a very good one. And then we have Never Surrender as our other piece. And these do have kind of like this more traditional style foiling. It's a little bit more muted than the normal WIXOSS foil, but I think it looks really, really nice. So this is Never Surrender. It costs 0, and it says if you have no cards in your hand, add up to 2 target Signy without guard from your trash to your hand. Pretty good. This is really good anti like discard tech. A lot of blue decks like to do the discard shenanigans. All right, so let's kind of take a look at the main deck. This is where we're not going to really go over these one at a time. So we have Ronov, Azure Evil. I'll point out some of these as we go if I think they're like particularly spicy. We have Karasawa, Doomed General. Got 2 of her. Baphomet, Doomed Evil. This is an absolute staple in black decks. There might be cards that can overshadow this in the future, but it's still a really, really solid card, and if you're playing black, a lot of decks consider this. So getting a full playset of this card is really good. It's a really, really strong level 1. Here we have just one of your dual color ones, Machina, beautiful, just a nice little dual color. Here we have Curzon, Blessed Evil. This is a card that came in the Card Jockey starter deck, and only came in the Card Jockey starter deck if I remember right. So getting a copy here means you don't have to buy that other deck, which is good. This is a good card. Here we have the 2 Phalaris that unfortunately have this weird crease. Yeah, it's like this just weird, like, it's like a pinch, right? I don't think it's been bent. I think it's just been like pinched as it went through the roller. Phalaris, like I said, is really good, really strong, used in a lot of black decks. Sometimes not, oh, you get another Curzon. Here you go, 3. Now we're up to 3. Anyway, yeah, Phalaris, very good. We have Brutus, Doomed General. We have Caesar, Wicked General. I used to run this in several decks. I think this card's quite good. We have Typhon, Doomed General. Once again, I ran this in a few decks. Buckler is a really good burst card. I also run this in some decks. Nice to see that here. We have Iza, Doomed General. Really love the art in this one. Don't really run it in a lot of decks, but art's great. Oh, this one is a staple. You run this in a lot of decks. This is Aino Mirage, Doomed Evil. Another one of the starter deck exclusive cards. This one came in the Sombaka deck. And this is one that I find myself needing more of. I play a lot of black WIXOSS decks, and I'm like, I need more of these Aino Mirage. You can only get them in the starter decks. So getting a couple copies here is really good. You usually only run like 1, 2, or 3 copies. Here's Dark Energy. You get 2 of these. This is another black staple. Very, very good card. Very beautiful artwork. Yeah, this is great. This is a great card. So it's good to get a couple copies here. And then you also get 2 copies of Dragon Maid, which I also run a copy of in one of my decks. And this is a card that synergizes with decking our opponent, with refreshing their deck. It's really good. So you get 6 copies of like quite good super rares, right? There's some good stuff here. Like this deck gives you a lot to work with and a lot of like powerful stuff. And then of course you have your 4 servants. Every deck runs your servants. And then you have your Reticle Digger. And that's going to round out the deck. You know, just like looking at this at base level, I'm going to pull aside all of the cards that I literally run in other versions of you know, other decks that I have. And there's a lot here. Like, look at this. This is how much, and like these cards, I'm not saying these cards are bad at all. I mean, I can even see this one being run, but I don't really run this one in my black-white decks. I have some other stuff going on. But like, look at this. Look how much of this deck I would consider like highly playable in like a, you know, fully constructed out deck. It's a lot. It's a good chunk of this. So I think this is a very, very, very good deck. Gives you a lot of fantastic options. And dude, if you can find it for those like insanely low, like $10 price points, I don't know how you can beat that. Like just in terms of starter deck equity in any card game, dude, that's kind of wild. Kind of wild. So yeah, the Urith Miasma deck, dude, this gets like an A+ for me, especially like the $10 price point. Even if it's like 15 to 20, I think it's still worth it. Compared to the White Hope or the Tama deck only comes with 1 art gain, and that's it. This deck comes with multiple copies of super rares, multiple full arts, multiple Dark Energy, Dragon Maid, and great. This is just really solid. So there is the Urith deck, and as much praise as I gave the Urith deck, this one's gonna get even more. This is the double Heroines deck, and I think this is the single best way to start playing WIXOSS in 2024. These decks are both incredibly good and have awesome staples. Unfortunately, you only get 1 of each of the awesome staples, unlike the Urith deck, which had 2 of them, but still, you get some really good stuff, and you get 2 decks here. So if you're the kind of person who is like if you're the person who buys all the decks, right? If you're the person who's like, all right, I'm the one who buys all the things and gets my friends to play these games that I like, this is the perfect product because it has 2 decks, right? We also have this box topper, sleeping promo box topper. We'll open that up in just a moment. Once again, we have this awesome how to play guide, which I think is just super, super cool. This one will tell you how to play for both decks, right? And you have tips on all of the cards, the Signy, the L-Rigs. There's some really cool stuff. I love it when games do this. Huge thumbs up for me. Yeah, just super great, super accessible. The art is amazing. And then of course, I'm not gonna show this one off. It's the same. It's just kind of like the generic how to play book that the Urith deck had. But yeah, very, very good. Here are the 2 respective WIXOSS decks. And we'll open this up at the end. We'll open that up at the end. Katsumi she can be like cheekily keeping that on standby for us here. Yeah. So not only are these characters featured here, some of my favorite characters in WIXOSS. You have Harana. You have Pyrrholuck, who Pyrrholuck is like, I don't know, top 3 for me all time favorite WIXOSS characters. And then Harana is really powerful. Like actually, like at one point, a meta menace for WIXOSS. So let's take a look at the Pyrrhic deck first, because this is the spicy deck, right? This is the one that has Exia in it. And that's the big reprint of this box set. Exia and Diabride are the two big ones here. And the Harana deck has the Diabride. But they each have like multiple not multiple copies of them, but they each have like multiple great reprints. So we have our level 3 code Pyrrhic. Pyrrhic really cares about like drawing cards and discarding stuff. She's aesthetically top favorite for me, maybe top 3 next to Alfu and Guzuko. She's just wonderful. Even the Alos Pyrrhic, but this one is like the original Pyrrhic. I'm not going to explain the difference between them, but there is a difference between Alos Pyrrhic and regular Pyrrhic. But yeah, she's great. All right, so we have Pyrrhic. You know, we can spread the deck out like we did before. So we have our we'll do it differently. We'll do Pyrrhic there. We have Donna. These are actually really great. So I'm actually running Donna in one of the decks that I just built, and this level 0 Donna, or this level 1 Donna, is the one that I use. Donna, cheer me on. She gives you some coins when you play her, and then you can return target level 1 Signy from your owner's field to their hand. Clear lane, doesn't ramp them. Great. Donna Go-Go. This one is a 2-drop, or a level 2 0-drop. Return target Signy with power 8,000 or less on your opponent's field to their hand. Same deal. And you can add a Signy with a guard from your trash to your hand, which is really good. Here we have Madoka as our other support. I know a lot of people really, really love Madoka, especially in the support role. Here's Madoka Float, which on enter, you discard a card and then draw 3 cards, which is really sweet. And then we have Madoka Clap, just clap them. And this one, you can do this during the attack phase, which is really good. Costs 2 to play. You down a Signy on your opponent's field, and then you can also discard 2 cards, down another Signy on your opponent's field, or you can also pay 3 and down a 3rd Signy on your opponent's field. So this is a great way to just down your opponent's entire board and buy you a turn to not die. Really good. All right, let's take a look at our piece cards. Here we have the blue piece card. This is Summer Live Blues. If you have 2 or more blue Elrig on your field, which we will, you're going to draw 2 cards and then put a Signy on your opponent's field on the bottom of their deck. So you get a card advantage and then you clear a lane. Really good. And also, art is beautiful. Speaking of which, we have a Burning Curiosity. You can use this piece. You may exceed 4 as an additional cost, and then you vanish a Signy on your opponent's field. If you paid the exceed, you just remove it from the game instead. So another great lane clearer. Both of our piece cards are just really good lane clearers. All right, this is one of the key cards of this deck. This is Exia. This at one point was a $20, $30+ card. This is a staple that people run 3, 4 ofs in every white deck. So getting this card is great. The art is also incredible. Just a really, really powerful card. So having this in this deck is so, so big. If you play other card games, this is like the equivalent of putting like Enlightened Strike, if you play Flesh and Blood, in your deck, like in a starter deck, or like a Command and Conquer. This is like legit, like absolutely legit. Yukime, this one also was a decently valuable card at one point. You get a lot of super good value here. You get 2 Orochimaru. I'm a big fan of this card. Love the art on it. It's not one of the more spendy ones, but it's still a really, really nice reprint and a really powerful card to have in a starter deck. Same with Firefly Squid. Another really, really powerful level 3 Signy. Just comes in the starter deck. And then similarly, we have Brunhilder. Once again, really nice card coming in the starter. Look at all these like foils you get. This is so good. Here's a Miko level 3 Signy foil. You actually get 2 of her. Like, look at this. Just in this one deck alone. Look at all these foil level 3s that you get. We still have another deck to go through. All right. And then we have our non-super fancy cards. So we have Automula. Beautiful, beautiful artwork here. Bruno is a competitive staple for the level 2 slot in your deck. So getting a couple copies of these is really good. Heket, or as I like to call her, Goopy Foot Girl, is like another staple. I put this in almost every blue deck that I make. Very, very good to have here. Let's set these over here. Focalore, another like absolute staple. It has one of the best life burst effects in blue. Maybe it does have just the straight up best life burst effect. So Once again, another competitive staple. I put this on almost every single blue deck. Monoman sees also a lot of play. I have a full foil set of this as well as these. So you put this on also a lot of blue decks. You're getting a lot of really, really good competitive staples here. We have Servants. These ones are all flavored after Pyrolyk, which is awesome. Once again, every WIXOSS deck runs 4 Servants. We have some spells. We have Call Out. We have Recovery. And then we have an alternate art Random Drain, which is really cool. Random Drain is a very, very good card. And yeah, another blue staple. It is a former starter deck card, but with new art, which is awesome. And then we have our 2 coins that Donna makes. So this is the Pyrolyk deck. It's insane. Once again, I'll pull all the cards aside that I literally run in my own blue decks, right? Like look at it. Look at all the cards that I'm pulling. This is wild. I might even run some of these as well. But like these are the ones that I have run or have in current decks, right? Like out of the main deck, look at this. You get so much like good card value. Like it's wild. And you have like other stuff too, like these. It's like incredible deck. And that's only like half of the product, right? We still have another deck to go through. So let's kind of like tidy up Pyrolyk. And like I mentioned, like the Donna is really good. The Modica is really good. Like these are good Elrig cards. So there's the Pyrolyk deck. It's just really good. And now we have the Harana deck, which is also very, very good. It might be a little bit easier to play. So the Pyrolyk deck is more like controlling, really cares about like drawing cards, making your opponent discard cards. And this deck is Unga Bunga Face. Harana is really good at dealing damage to our opponent. I ran a Harana deck for a while, and she's very, very strong. So here we have our level 0, 1, and 2 Haranas. She also runs other fan favorites, Tama. And so we have Tama Loud Voice, which says we can return an insignia on opponent's field with power 1,000 or less to its owner's hand. Once again, bouncing them, clearing the lane without ramping them. Tama Aura, target insignia on your field gains auto, turn 1. When the Signy attacks, up it, and it loses abilities until end of turn, which basically means you can attack twice with the Signy. Very, very good aggro stuff. And then Machina, who is another amazing support Elrig. This is one of the best and most played support Elrigs in the entire game, and Wing Slash is probably also one of the most played support Elrigs in the entire game. It's just a 0-drop, and it vanishes a level 1 Signy, and then you can add a level 1 Signy without guard from your trash to your hand. Super good value for a level 1. And then Machina Smash. Also really, really good. You can play this on attack phase, you can do it on your opponent's turn. You give 1 Signy minus 12,000 power, and then you can pay another black, and then add a Signy without guard from your trash to your hand. Clear lane, get a dude back. Really, really good. Here we have, for the piece cards, we have Entwined Supremacy. Beautiful, beautiful artwork on here. This one says, target level 3 Elric on your field gains the following ability until end of turn. Auto, once per turn. When this Elric attacks, crush one of your opponent's life cloth. You just crush one of their life cloths. If your opponent chooses to use the life burst of that card, you can pay 2. If you do, it negates the life burst. This card is wild. Super wild. And then go to the top. This is one that I play in a myriad of decks. It costs 3. And it says, search your deck for a Signy, reveal it, add it to your hand, and then you shuffle your deck. If your opponent's center Elrig is level 3 or more, they choose and put 3 cards from their enter zone into their trash. So you get a tutor for something and then enter burn our opponent. Really good. All right, let's show off some of the cards in this deck. We also have some very spicy cards. So here we have 2 Nobunaga, a very, very good card that has Double Crush on it. At one point, this was a very valuable card and one of the best red cards. Still quite good. Here we have probably the big hit reprint of this particular deck, Diabride. Really, really good enter burn red card. Super, super powerful. And also she's beautiful. We have this level 2 Hanayo foil. This was originally a super rare. Still a very, very efficient level 2 red card. We have Halberd, one of my favorites art-wise. I really dig this card. We We also have a Flathro Commander Roaring Flame. We got a couple copies of that. Once again, you just get this big smattering of like foils. And then we have a one of Areshkiao. Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, but the big ones are the Nobunaga and the Diabride, in my opinion. But like the Pyraluke deck, you have a bunch of non-foil just staples. So Hera is really, really good, really, really efficient. She's a level 2 that helps you clear lanes, so you can push damage through. We have 2 of the Farnax, good little life burst card here. Another level 1 life burst card that's good is Yuzuki. We have the Decorabia, Crimson Evil, a nice little level 2 life burst card with a powerful effect. Here's our another level 2 with a good life burst that doesn't have an effect. Tristan, Samadare, Light Armed. I'm not sure what this one is. This is what? Discard a card, add a weapon signy from your trash to your hand. Pretty cool. So you can just kind of cycles, and it also has life burst. Here we have a dual color black-red signy. Romail is a really powerful starter deck card that just clears lanes. This is one of the ones that came in the original Harana No Limit starter deck, and it's really great to see it here because you can only really get it as a promo or in starter decks. And then similarly, we have Lancelot. We only have 2 in this deck. This card was printed as a 4 of in the original Harana deck. Has a really amazing promo, and it was printed as a 4 of with a different art in the DXM deck. You only get 2 here. A lot of decks don't run a lot of these anymore, but it is one of my favorite cards in WIXOSS. Like literally, top 5 favorite card. I love Lancelot, so getting a couple copies of that is great. We have 4 Servants, and then 2 Volcanic Scythe as spell cards. And so yeah, this deck is much more of an aggro deck, just all about clearing lanes and dealing damage to our opponent, whereas the Pyraluke deck is much more about like control, drawing cards, and making your opponent discard stuff. Though there are some controlling elements in this one with like the Enterburn that Diabride can do. So yeah, that was kind of a lot. I kind of went deep into that, but I really wanted to show just how good these decks are. I really legitimately think that these two, if you can get them for around $30 to $40, like for both of them, insane value. You get some of the best cards in WIXOSS right now. And it really, really, like, first of all, out of the box, the decks are really good. But they also give you just staples that you can use in a lot of other decks. I didn't do the thing where I show all of the playables here. But like, these are literally cards that I have played or currently play with in my own WIXOSS decks. Now I haven't updated a red deck in a very long time, so there might be like other options. But yeah, for this deck, here are the cards that I literally played in my WIXOSS decks before, right? Really, really good stuff. And in some of my like best decks right now, I run a couple copies of Diabride. So yeah, that's gonna be that. Let's open up our little pack to cap it off. But if you were just getting into WIXOSS and you just picked up these 2 products, right? If you picked up the Urith deck and then these 2, and then maybe the Tama deck as well, you have an incredible start. You have 4 decks, really, really good, that all have like top tier reprints, just ready to go, ready to play out of the box. If you were playing with just a friend and neither of you know how to play WIXOSS, or you just want to, use it as a little battle box, this is awesome. Or if you just want to use this as a stepping stone to play more WIXOSS, awesome. Yeah, highly, highly recommended. All right, let's open this up and see what we can get. What are the options? Remember Hanaya, Pyraluke, Sasha. Ooh, you can get Ulfu. Okay, well, I want Ulfu. She's my favorite character. So let's see if we can get an Ulfu. Ooh, it's black. It could be an Ulfu. I don't think this is the color for Ulfu. In fact, I think this might be a Miyu, if I remember correctly. Let's see. It is a Miyu. Okay. Yep, this is a Miyu. I have a sleepy Miyu already. I remember the dark background. I really like Miyu, so this is a good pull. This is awesome. So yeah, you also get a little sleeping promo card. These are worth, like $5 depending on which one you get. Still really nice. Awesome. So that is our WIXOSS video. Can't recommend these more. And thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment down below which deck of these is your favorite. I mean, come on, the Pure Luke deck is sweet, and then also, man, it comes with Exia, dude. Comes with Exia, and some other really cool stuff. But just awesome artwork. Anyway, I could go on forever talking about this. We're gonna cut the video now. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.